Board members, welcome back. The boardroom is open once again. Today, another Kickstarter has landed at my door. It's Trudvang Legends. Yes, this has been 3 years now in the making. This campaign successfully funded August 14th, 2019. That seems like eons ago, given what's happened since 2019 to now. But it's here. It arrived, I want to say yesterday, maybe the day before. It is time to unpack this heavy box of Trudvang Legends. This will not be a how to play video. I might do some how to play tutorials later. However, this is just to take a peek at what's inside this amazing heavy box. See, I did that in advance because this box is so heavy, I had to take the lid off and then set the box to the side. There was no way I was going to be able to take the lid off on camera. So, having said that, here's the box. Ugh, man, that's heavy. Starting with the rule book. 33, 36 pages, 35, 36-ish pages of goodness. Now, I did read through it all, and at first I was a little overwhelmed with a 35-page rule book, but it flowed really, really well. So kudos to the rulebook team for putting together a rulebook that seemed to flow pretty well. I don't have a whole lot of negative things, if any, to say about the rulebook. So let's just move on from the rulebook. It's just big. These are your these are your adventure sheets. Now, you can try to read some of this stuff and it would be spoiled, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless it's in context with your game. And I think this adventure sheet here is the first adventure sheet anyway, so not a big deal. This one on the back, this is basically a plastic wrapper full of these adventure sheets. Now these adventure sheets are going to go, let's kind of keep them off so they don't spoil too much. They're going to go into this adventure board, basically. They call this the, well, these are windows. Darn it, a points of interest board. That's the points of interest board. Yes. The points of interest board I'm supposed to do is pop out these, I think. Oh, look at that. I just ripped it off. But that's okay. I think it's just the letter A underneath. Or something. Uh-oh. Oh, no, the letter is on the actual sheet. Yeah, I'm supposed to pop all of these little, but not the big window. Just pop the little thing out here. So I could, I suppose I could pop the whole thing off and then pop the little tab out. Anyway, the tabs are where the letters are going to show. So that's this. These sheets will slide into here. And then, let's just see if I show one. See the letter A right there? That letter A is going to show through in this window right here. All right, so that's the points of interest board. I'm not going to construct that yet. Maybe I'll do it towards the end of the video when people may or may not have stopped watching. All right, these are the points of interest. So if we go back to whatever letter A is here, and if this is revealed, and let's say it's it says local game store located in Muspelheim, well, then you'll put this letter A in Muspelheim on the map, and then you'll refer to it. Oh, okay, what's letter A? Oh, it's the local game store. Okay, great. That's what that's about. This is a threat token. Threat tokens are used in 3- and 4-player games. This is the single threat side. This is the dual threat side, 4-player game, 3-player game. That's what that's about. These are elite, or maybe advanced monster. Basically, they're stronger than normal monsters. So when you get a monster, if it's elite or stronger, again, I forget what that's called, the actual monster sits on this to note that it is bigger, greater, stronger. These are cleared markers. When you advance or adventure into kind of like a dungeon, if you will, and the road has been cleared, you put this on those areas to show that you've already cleared those areas. I think the backside, is it blocked? Yes. The blocked marker means you can't go there yet. So that's the other side of the cleared marker. These are NPC tokens. So when there's an NPC token on, let's say, a letter A, you'll refer to the monster that's in this window, or B or C or whatever. Their stats will be there. They don't actually have miniatures for all of those monsters. And then these are just health markers for the enemies. You can track damage on them with these health markers. The heroes have their own hero board, which we'll get to, I'm sure. But the enemies have health markers health tokens that we use to track that. All right. These are runes, wild runes. You've got agility, strength, intellect. Is it wisdom is the fourth one? Let's just take a quick look. I believe it to be, I'm sorry, wild. Air, earth, fire, and water. Well, couldn't have been more easy to see there. Air, earth, fire, and water. There we go. Air, earth, fire, and water. These are wild. These are darkness. Think of darkness as automatic failures. That's what those are pretty much. This is your health tracker that goes on your hero's health board. These are experience points that you earn during the game. These are used for different things every adventure. You know, the adventure says put a strength counter, or 5 strength counters, or put 5 corruption counters, whatever. They're going to change per adventure. So these are generic counters. These are negative modifiers, negative to your chronicle points, which is kind of the currency in the game. Negative to your attack value, or your damage value, basically. Negative to your health, and negative to your block value. And those will make sense when I pull out the hero boards. Okay. Now we move on. This is feeling... Oh, okay. So this is really cool. This is the storyboard. When we actually finally have a story, we're going to slot little adventures or little parts of the stories into these little pocket pages. And then the phases of the game are going to go here, whether it's the explore phase, engage phase. I think there's 1 or 2 more phases that those could be. Let's see. Let me just tell you what those phases are called. I'm not going to get into them, but I can at least tell you what they are. Eventually. Game phases. Travel phase, engage phase, and I know there's another explore phase. So when the adventure will tell you which phases go in which order, and that will change how you actually make your decisions during the game. And this is really big, by the way. This is 6, I guess it does fit on my camera though, 6 high and 3 wide, so quite a few spots here. All right, I'm going to move that off to the side because I know what's coming next is going to be really, really big. And that's going to be the game board itself. So let's pack this up, and get this out. Yeah, more stuff in there. So now, what's really exciting about this game, well, to me, don't know that it excites you as much as it excites me, is the upside downness of the board. No. Let us spin it back around. So you see these shiny pockets. These are where you put the locations. I talked about the friendly game store, right? I was being kind of funny about that. Well, maybe you didn't think it was funny, but I did. So if it says the local game store is in Dranvelt, you'll slide the actual card that shows the local game store here, and then you put the letter A. That way you'll refer to this window here, and it'll show friendly local game store and what you can do there. So all the different locations are going to change based on how your campaign is evolving. So that is this, the game board itself. Let's see, can I fold this back up without ruining it? I have succeeded in not ruining it. Okay, more stuff. Now you see I haven't gone much deeper into this. I wanted to kind of do it on stream. Trudvang Legends, what are you? Oh, you're the hero boards. Okay, let's talk about the hero boards a little bit. While I'm opening this, this is the Book of Sagas. This is basically your adventure book. So I won't be digging too deep into that. I will probably peek at adventure number 1 just to kind of give you an idea of what it might look like. Because if you play this game, buy this game, you're going to be in adventure number 1. But for now, let's talk about the hero board. This track here is used to track both your health and your chronicle points. And again, chronicle points are used as currency in this game. You'll spend them to get various effects. So you'll have your like a heart to show how much hit points you have left, and you'll have the little C, which will show how much chronicle points you have left. When I talked about these negative modifiers here, every time you miss in this game in combat, you're going to put that missed rune, and that'll make sense when I get to the runes, but you put it in these tracks here. Once you resolve the combat, if you have missed only a few times, you're going to get to activate all of the pluses here. There will be pluses and minuses. If you miss 5 times, you're going to activate all of the minuses up here. If you activate, or if you miss only 4 times, you don't get any pluses, but you also don't suffer the minuses. The minuses, again, can be -1 to your attack value, -1 to your chronicle points, -1 to your defense value, minus more hit points. Everybody has a static +1 chronicle, -2 hit point on their board. Okay, this side of the board is where you put your titles. As you earn titles throughout the gameplay, the titles will have in-game effects, and so you'll keep them here. Your feats, and that's how you generally attack. Your feat deck is here. During combat, you're going to draw 4 feats, and then you're going to draw 3 runes at a time. So you're going to have this bag. I guess this is going to be kind of a how to play, but not really. This is basically this is your rune bag. Let's see, purple is always the best color. So you fill your bag with your starter runes, and when I show the heroes, I'll show you what those are. And when you fight something, you're going to draw 3 runes. If those 3 runes don't match any of the feat cards that you drew initially, you have to put it up here as a miss, and that's how you get the misses. All right? So that's what you're doing there. Then there's item cards, and then there's upgrade cards. Upgrade cards upgrade your feats and make your feats stronger. So that's kind of that's the super basics of playing your hero. All right. Book of Sagas. Go ahead and just take it out of the plastic. All you ASMR lovers. There's some crinkly. That is a big book. Oh, I talked earlier about the path cleared tokens and the path blocked tokens. They're called adventure maps. I call them dungeons. It's the same thing, in my opinion. Well, this one looks like a dungeon. This one looks like an overland map. Once you've cleared a section, you put the little cleared token on it, so you know you don't go visit that again. And if it's blocked because the book says it's blocked, maybe some in-game effect said that number 25 is blocked, you put it there and it shows that you kind of can't go there. So 1, adventure map 2, adventure map 3, adventure map 3. I was expecting to say 4. You can see I have not opened this yet. Those are the adventure maps. That's in the back of the Book of Sagas. Now this is arranged randomly for a couple reasons. 1, so that you kind of don't accidentally spoil something. And 2, because it is a basically choose your own adventure game, because there are decision points that you have to make, and based upon the decisions, actually not just the decisions, but the outcomes of those decisions will change where you go next. So this Child of the Light right here is the first adventure. At the beginning of every first adventure, it's going to show you the introduction and then the setup. What do you have to put on the board where? And then, so for example, towards the end of setup, it says reveal point of interest A. So if I go back, and it would already tell me what's at point of interest A, because I have slid that adventure sheet in here, I would pop this out to reveal point of interest A. And so towards the end of this video, I'll go ahead and actually put the first adventure thing in here and show you exactly what that's going to look like. So that's the Book of Sagas. It's really big. How many, does it have pages? 126 pages in that Book of Sagas. I cannot, well, I'll get to the minis last, but I cannot open this because these are the story cards, and they're in order. So I don't want to mess that up before I play this game. But these are the cards that will slot into the big storyboard that had the phases on one side and the story cards on the other. Also, these cards are the cards that will slot into the map itself. Some of these cards we can look at, though, because they are here. So here's some event cards. They say event on them there. These are feat cards for your heroes. These are their feats and abilities. More feats and abilities. More feats and abilities. More feats and abilities. Now there are 6 different heroes, so I wonder if there's one pack for each of them. Yep, that is the case. Okay, there are 6 different heroes, so let's kind of talk about that. Here's Bria, and I think Bria is a warrior. Let me get the class names right for you here. It's either warrior or fighter, but I don't want to get them wrong. Oh, this particular one's a rogue. There is a warrior, but this is not it. Bria's the rogue, and that little dagger tells you that's the rogue. And this will have all of the rogue cards in it. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this. This is Bria here. This is the rogue, and you can see the runes that she starts with. 1 water, 2 wind, 4 earth, 3 fire, and 5 darkness runes. And her ability here, exhaust, return the last runes drawn to the bag. So if she got some bad runes, she could exhaust by flipping to the other side and return those runes to the bag. Now, the other side has, when exhausted, sometimes they have effects. This says discard 1 bonus ability. I showed you the positive and negative effects. She would have to discard one of her positive effects off her board whenever that happened. This shows their starting health here. Hers is 10. So that's a close-up of a hero card. Here's a close-up of a rune, of a feat card. So this shows, it's called Energy 1. It can upgrade to Energy 2. When you draw your runes, if she drew an earth, a wind, and fire rune, she could place an earth or fire here and an earth or fire here. Excuse me. Earth or fire here to activate this rune. That means she didn't miss. If she drew 2 water and 1 darkness rune, she would have missed with those runes, and they would have all gone up in the miss slot. Here it says this attack deals +2 damage, and you can pay 1 chronicle point to refresh. Refresh means turn your hero from exhausted back to its normal side. So that's an example of what runes look like. Those are your skills that you use pretty much to deal damage. Okay, so this is the rogue hero here, and then you have this is the warrior hero here, Vulgar. That's his name. He has 11 hit points. You've got Mailing. Mailing is a ranger, and Valerian is the bard. That's the one I'm going to start my campaign with. Anybody that knows me is probably not shocked by that. This is Catley. Catley is a Vintner Weaver, basically a spellcaster, an intellect user. And this one is Lidana. This is a dim walker. Live in the name of their gods. They pray and connect with the divine power to receive special abilities. So I don't know, maybe like a shaman or a priest of some sort is what that hero is. So those are the 6 heroes. Again, event cards. So now we can probably take a look at the miniatures. And this is cool mini or not, so you know some of the miniatures won't be so miniature. They will be grandiose. Storage guide on the back. That's handy because I always forget how these things go back in. Oh, like that. There's a tray that comes underneath the tray. So you've got some skeleton miniatures here. These are your hero miniatures. And that tray sits under this tray and goes into the box. So let's see what other minis we got here. These are some of the big baddies, and this is really heavy. But this is typical cool mini or not fare. I mean, these are high quality, highly detailed, not so miniature miniatures. All right. Oh, one other thing. There's a boat miniature. The boats are how you cross river paths on the map. If it has a river, a blue line separating 2 regions, then you have to have a boat to cross that. And you get boats through different adventures in the game. Then you've got, this is the storage tray. This little tray sits on the game board, and you put your story cards in it, and you draw from them during the game so that you don't lose your place. Just put them back. And then last but not least are these to mark whose hero is who's on the board with the 4 different colors to coincide with the 4 different color bags. So that's everything that comes in Trudvang Legends. This is the basic box. I mean, it's not so basic, but it is. I don't have any of the upgraded stuff. I thought that I did get some of the upgraded stuff, but it might be coming in a second wave. I know there are some expansions that are coming in later waves. I might talk about the actual experience of the Kickstarter itself on a podcast. I won't talk about it here. This is just to showcase what comes in it. And that'll do it. So thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you're catching this on the live stream, I appreciate you hanging out with me here. If you catch this on the YouTube replay, please, if you like this stuff, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this crazy content, subscribe to this channel. And as always, we'll see you at the next boardroom meeting.